What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Christopher De Jesus, host of Sitting Down with the Raffians podcast. You already know, man. Just a couple of Raffians talking about some sports. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, before we even get into an episode or anything like that, I just wanted to hit you with some quick videos. Obviously, for today's video, we're going to be talking about Week 3 NFL key takeaways. A lot of stuff happened, you know what I'm saying? We just came off of Monday Night Football yesterday, so that wraps up the week. So we literally got 2 days until a new week begins. Yes, we are back in football season, full effect, Week 3. Let's get it. Boom. First thing we're going to be talking about, Dolphins putting up 70 points. I mean, I watched the first half of this game, and honestly, after the first half, I've seen enough. I just changed the channel, and I just kept it moving forward, to be honest, man. Nobody can stop them boys down there in Miami. I don't know what they drinking or what, but speed kills. That boy Devon A-Chain, Raheem, Tyreek, and they scored 70 without another speed demon they got. Jalen motherfucking Waddle, y'all. Like, that's kind of scary. Not kind of. It is scary. Granted, I know it's the Broncos. Their defense isn't really that good, nor are the Broncos really that good. But still, 70 points in an NFL football game is still a lot of points. I mean, you got blown out by 50 points. I mean, if I was the Broncos, I'm just saying a Broncos player in general, let's say Cortland Sutton, my ass is asking for a trade ASAP, no Rocky. You know what I'm saying? But one thing with Miami's offense that just makes them scary is just they just have a lot of gadget guys that can go. Not to say Tyreek's a gadget guy. We all know he's Tyreek. He's top 5 wide receiver for like the past 4 to 5 years. You know what he brings to the table, and we just know that with Raheem Mostert, he's really good when he's healthy, and that's the only thing. It's just his health. And so now that we're getting to see him not only run the ball but also catch the ball, I mean, my gracious, it's a scary sight. And also props or big shout out to Devon A-Chain, rookie out of Texas A&M. That boy was cooking. That boy had 18 carries on 200 yards. Miami just combined total passing yards and rushing yards. They broke about damn near they had 800 yards, damn near. I think they had about like 350 rushing and then about like 350 passing. So they literally broke 800 yards. I mean, scary sight to see. If you're in the AFC, like the Bills, the Chiefs, Ravens, all these top contender teams, you got to be shaking in your boots a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, if you don't.
But yeah, another thing that just, surprised me, of course, everybody knows Mike McDaniels could have broken the record for most points scored in an NFL game. But the man is a class act, even though he was up in the stands calling plays with the fans, which is kind of wild. We don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, fans can get a little crazy and dress up like their coaches, dress up like their players. But if that is true, that boy is playing Madden out there. He ain't even playing NFL football. He playing Madden, y'all. And for the Broncos, I mean, they're just trash this year. I don't really got to talk much about them. It's just more so about the Dolphins being so electric, so explosive, and them just being able to cook. Even Mike White came in, got some reps, and scored a huge touchdown, to Robbie Anderson, or should I say Chosen Anderson. I don't know. This man's changed his name like 4 times, bruh. But anyway, Dolphins, 70-point bombs. They still keep hooping. We just have to see if Tua can stay healthy, Raheem can stay healthy. But even if Raheem gets knocked up or anything like that, they still have Devon A-Chain, and they still have guys that I don't think, no matter who's placing this offense, can still go and get you good points. Second topic for week 3 of the NFL. Are the Cowboys, Jags, and Ravens frauds? I mean, it seems like this week was the week of the underdogs, with the Cardinals beating the Cowboys, the Colts beating the Ravens, not to mention Justin Tucker missing 2 field goals. I think he missed a field goal. I don't know if it was week 1 or 2, but he missed a key field goal, and then him missing another field goal. I know Ravens fans are saying, well, what about the face mask grab on Zay Flowers that wasn't called? You could clearly see that was a face mask, but still, I feel like even if you're going against the Colts, you still should have been able to have controlled that game, still have some type of, lead by the time that face mask. It shouldn't have even been gone to OT. It shouldn't have even been that close to begin with, and also with the Jags losing to the Texans, I mean, that's a huge loss already right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming off that loss to Kansas City, which we know Kansas City is Kansas City. They're still kind of figuring out their offense. You know what I'm saying? But for them to like, this was supposed to be a bounce back game for the Jags, and they looked horrible. I mean, Calvin Ridley, I have you on my fantasy team, bro. You dropped two touchdowns, bro. Two touchdowns, bro. I could have won this week, but it's all good. I'm not even gonna, get into the blasphemy. But if I'm the Jaguars and I'm Jaguars fans, Cowboys fans, Ravens fans, games like this, I know it's week 3, it's early, but games like this matter down the line. Every single game matters. You may never know, especially when it comes down to the wire when we're playing football in January and the seeding comes into play with the playoffs and things of that nature. You just want to make sure that those easy gimme games, you can capitalize and win those games that can help boost your record moving forward. Obviously, the thing I think that hurt the Cowboys the most, I just feel like they weren't emotionally there. I feel like the loss with Trevon Diggs earlier that week just kind of like emotionally just kind of seemed like they checked out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to allow Joshua Dobbs, Marquise Brown, and James Conner just cook up on your defense after you guys looked like, I know they played the Jets and the Giants without Aaron Rodgers, but like still, you got cooked bad. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I mean, I know it's too early to call these teams frauds. NFL, I mean, any sport, anything can happen. Sometimes the zero to hero teams come and play hero ball whenever they feel like it. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean by that?
And so we just have to keep an eye on that. And then for topic number 3, the Jets meltdown. I mean, obviously, everybody knows ever since Aaron Rodgers has been declared out for the season with a torn Achilles, feels like, yeah, they won that week 1 and were able to rally behind Xavier Gibson's punt return. But it seemed like even then, they were still shaken up with Aaron Rodgers being out for the rest of the season with an Achilles injury. And of course, everybody kind of tried to rally behind Zach. And Zach didn't look too bad against the Cowboys all the way until the fourth quarter where he throws 3 interceptions. So then that kind of begs the question: was the Jets defense frauds last year, or like what's going on? Seems like ever since A-Rod got hurt, they're just kind of like not trying, but it just gives off that energy. I know it's only been 2 weeks. Like I said, it's only week 3. This is early season type beat, but at the same time, you just never know what's going to happen. You got Joe Namath, Jets legend, the guy who won the Jets their only sole Super Bowl, saying blow it all up, start fresh, fire Saleh, get rid of Joe Douglas, and get new players. Which I don't think that's a little too far, to go and say that, especially when you got Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Quincy Williams. Got a lot of young defensive guys, a lot of young offensive guys meshed with some veterans. That it's still like you still have to let it build. Things can't happen overnight. Of course, the expectations were very high to happen this season with Aaron Rodgers coming in and being the new orchestrator of this offense, and even bringing in Nathaniel Hackett to kind of bring a familiar face with Rodgers. And that was just out of their control. I mean, it wasn't like the offensive line was like, yeah, let's not block for Aaron Rodgers so he can tear his Achilles. Yeah, totally. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, we also saw on the field, just them, that one play with Mac Jones, they just like slammed him to the ground. Then, of course, Mac Jones retaliated, did something to, Sauce's lower section. And, Sauce retaliated, pushed him down, things like that. You got Garrett Wilson yelling at Zach Wilson, Michael Carter Williams, I said Michael Carter Williams. What is this, the NBA? But we got Michael Carter yelling at the offensive coordinator and the running backs coach. Things don't look too hot in New York right now for both Jets and Giants. That's tough. Anyway, the fourth topic. Should the Vikings blow it all up? Vikings are 0-3. They have been in every single game. At least week 1, that was a gimme game for sure. Eagles and Chargers, I'm not even upset with those losses. They were in both games. They were in contention to win those games. So it wasn't like it was a bad thing. But the thing is it time to get rid of Kirk Cousins? I know they brought in what's his name? That he used to coach the Detroit Lions, coach the Patriots, Brian Flores. Brian Flores. I said the Detroit Lions. I meant the Dolphins, by the way. My bad. But we know they brought him in as a defensive coordinator, but it seems like this defense still just sucks. I mean, I feel like for both these teams in that game for the Vikings and Chargers, it was basically who wants to get fired this week? Basically, what it came down to. Because if Brandon Staley didn't win that game, by far the Chargers were going to be out of there. You know what I'm saying? Or not the Chargers, but he was going to be out of there clearly. You know what I'm saying? Especially with like that, you know, you just gotta cook up better. You know what I'm saying? And Brandon Staley isn't a bad coach, but like I feel like in the games where they need to win, the times where he needs to call big plays and things of that nature, he kind of just blanks out a little bit and just does some like it feels like that team plays Madden. Like obviously we know I think in 2021 when they played the Raiders and they went for it, I think luckily they were successful. I think 7 out of 8 times on their fourth downs. Yeah, of course, sometimes you get, blessed with that like look of the Irish type beat, but still going for it 8 times on fourth down is still nuts behavior, especially when you're playing in the NFL. When you when you can settle for field goals and things like that, and playing so aggressive can sometimes also be a good thing, but it can also be your kryptonite at the same time. And then lastly, take number 5 out of all the takeaways. Super Bowl teams just keep hooping, man. Niners still look good. Dolphins are still looking good. Eagles are looking good. And the Chiefs are looking good.
Barbecue chicken alert. Barbecue chicken alert.
I mean, that's what it comes down to, I think, for, so far in the season. I mean, is what I meant to say. But Niners, obviously, cooked up against the Giants. Easy money. Eagles, still kind of shaky, of course, the loss of Shane Steichen and also their defensive coordinator who now coaches at the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, it's going to take some time to get used to. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts isn't really playing his best football, but they're still winning games. They played the Buccaneers, they played the Patriots, and then they played – who did they play week 2? The Vikings. Yeah. So, I mean, A.J. Brown got cooking. That's a good sign, you know what I'm saying? Especially after he kind of had that little scuffle. I know in the interviews he had mentioned it wasn't that deep, but, and he even took responsibility for it. So that's always a good sign if you're an Eagles fan. Niners, or we already talked about Niners. Dolphins, we already talked about them. 70 points on the Broncos. Enough said. Speed kills. Waddle was out, and they still hooping. It's going to be going. They played the Bills this week. That's going to be a good test in Buffalo. So we're going to see. We're going to see. You know what I'm saying? But they're doing good. They continue to just keep hooping, man. Chiefs, of course, they lost to Detroit week 1. We all know Kelsey was out. But, the past 2 weeks, they beat the Jags on the road, and then they go back home and beat the Bears. Of course, the Bears kind of are like one of the top 5 worst teams in the NFL, including the Panthers. Had to take a shot at you guys because that's my team.
Yeah, that brother's starving. Yes, sir.
But they just seemed like they were kind of flowing on all cylinders. I mean, when you just have Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, it's just really tough. I feel like from watching their games, they should feed Isaiah Pacheco more. That man is hooping, man, every time he gets the ball. Jerick McKinnon got some nice touchdowns as well. You know what I'm saying? I think they're just clicking now. I know it's only week 3, right? Kelsey came back, got in the end zone too. I still feel like they need probably they just need a wide receiver 1. Like we all thought Kadarius Toney was going to be that guy to explode this year. Pause. But like week 1 made a bunch of drop passes. Week 2 he fumbled. Week 3 he actually didn't do too bad, of course. But it's the Bears. What do you expect? This is supposed to be the game that rejuvenates you, kind of gets you back in the feel of things. So of course Chiefs keep hooping. We gonna see if what other woes they got, you know what I'm saying? But defense doesn't look too bad, of course. Like I said, it is the Bears. I mean, all these teams, they play garbage teams, you know what I'm saying? Not the Buccaneers, though. That was a good test for the Eagles, especially Bucs defense is always solid. Baker and Mike Evans and Godwin and them boys, they've been cooking so far this season. But that was a good test for them. But I think they still keep hooping. And I think that's just the bane. Those are the top 4 teams, to keep an eye on. Of course, the Bills, after that week 1 loss, they look good too. They kind of, bounced back, and Josh Allen has limited his turnovers. Hasn't really had any since week 1. And then, of course, you got the Ravens, like we mentioned earlier, fraudulent behavior. Of course, the loss to J.K. Dobbins is huge. But with the Ravens offense, I feel like still you got Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards, Justice Hill. You got Zay Flowers. OBJ is out, of course, but they still got Rashad Bateman. They still got Nelson Aguilar. My goodness, revived? What? And then they also got Big Mark Andrews, bro. Boomer Sooner, baby. Oh, you stand up. But yeah, those are the 5 key takeaways from week 3. I said 4. Week 3 of the NFL. I'll be dropping a week 3 NFL prediction for games and things of that nature tomorrow. Mañana, yes. And so thank you for tuning in. Appreciate all the love and support. This is just the start of something new. What did Michael Jackson say? Got to be starting something. So appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whenever you guys view this. Stay tuned, man. Stay tapped in. We're going to have some spicy topics. And once we get this flowing, we'll be producing more episodes. But for now, we're just bumping out short clips. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Peace.